All right, so this video I'm going to talk about residuals. And remember, residuals, the book refers to it as an error. So it really is not like something is wrong. It's just the difference between the truth and the predicted. Okay, so here is a graph of a scatter plot. And I don't necessarily want to talk about the standard deviation, all right? I don't want to talk about that. But what I want to do is I want to talk about residuals. And so let's just pick a couple of points. You see that the red line that I just drew, the vertical line, how x stays the same, but the y's change. You see how the y's changed? This is the true y, this is the predicted y. Okay, let me choose another color. Let's do green. Now let me go underneath, all right? So here's one. Okay, again, it's a vertical line. This guy is the true y. This guy is the predicted y. All right, so residuals is simply truth minus predicted. Is truth minus predicted. Now, do you agree with me on the red guy that, let me go back to my red deal here, that the top guy here, that my y is greater than my y hat. So therefore that my residual is going to be positive because y is greater than y hat. And when my residual is positive, do you see that I made an underestimate? Oh, I hate when this happens. Go away. Estimate. Right? Because it's my truth is bigger than my predicted. So let me go back to my green. All right, here where it's green, my residual is going to be negative because the truth is less than the predicted. And here my prediction was an overestimate. Okay, so it's kind of, you just have to remember that's what I do, that they're just opposites of each other. Okay, so what do we do with residuals? Well, when they ask you, is it appropriate? What they are doing, they're asking us to sketch the residual. Okay, so before you can sketch the residuals, you must do the linear regression equation because that finds you y hat. And then once you find y hat, then you will get the residuals. Now, if you're on the Inspires, if you go onto the screen or if you go to VARS, it's going to be stats, resid. I think that's what it's called. All right. If you have the TI-84, you have to go to list, which is second stats. And typically it's 7 or 8. Okay, because the first 6 are for L1 through L6. And probably for you it's going to be option number 7. All right, that's where you see the residuals. It is rare when they ask you to look at the residuals. Typically what they want you to do is to plot the residuals. Okay, so what we want you to do is plot the residuals. Now remember, some are going to be negative, some are going to be positive. If a residual is 0, that means the truth is the predicted. So typically the residual plots are going to be like a sideways T, where your x is still the same. Your x is still the same. So in our case, with this car thing, it's going to be the weight in pounds. All right? And I don't know what it is, but so I'm just going to do a bunch of random dots. Okay, let me pick another color. And so It's just some dots. Again, some are going to be above, some are going to be below. And what we are doing, we are looking for a pattern. If there is a pattern, then the linear model is not appropriate. If there is no pattern, then the linear model is appropriate. All right, so what do you mean by pattern? I can just hear you guys asking, what does Schwartz mean by pattern? Okay, so sometimes the patterns make a curve. Could be a sine wave, could be a quadratic. But the common ones are what we call fans, where they start out wide and they come to a V, or they start at a point and they get wide. All right, I believe like one of the first couple of homework problems I have signed talk about residuals. So these are patterns. Okay, these are patterns. All right, so if you want to go plot the residual plot in the Inspire, what you have to do is on your horizontal axis, you still put in weights. But when you go do the verticals, that's when you hit that stat.recid. If you're on the TI-84, your L1 is, your X is still going to be L1, and where it says L2, you have to go to hit second stat into list, and then go down to where you see resids. All right, if you need any help with that, you can either Google it, go to YouTube, or come in and ask me for tutoring.